Tonight on Texas News Primetime, the Moody Center is set to replace the Frank Irwin Center.
Internet phenomenon Hank Green speaks at the UT campus.
And our reporter interviews members of the Students for a Democratic Society.
You're watching Texas News Primetime,
your leader for live, local UT coverage. Good evening and welcome to Texas News Primetime for Monday, April 18th. I'm Kevin Myers.
And I'm Sophia Kurtz. Thank you for joining us tonight.
A group of UT students have formed the Riverside Justice Coalition to address a variety of issues faced by the students living in neighborhoods located far from UT. Many UT students live further south of the campus in Riverside, where rents can be less expensive than in neighborhoods closer to the campus, and commute to school by riding CAP Metro buses for free by swiping their ID cards. However, some shuttle services to and from Riverside have proven to be unreliable, with delays and cancellations due to a shortage of drivers. As a result, students have been late to or missed classes, which reflect poorly on their grades. The coalition issued a series of 10 demands to UT officials last Friday, which include removing mandatory attendance policies in classes, establishing a commuter student center, and investing more in campus shuttle services, especially during the summer and on weekends.
The iSchool Inclusion Institute, a research and leadership development program that prepares students from underrepresented communities for careers in the information sciences, will now be hosted by the School of Information at the University of Texas at Austin. The program invites 25 students from various majors and universities across the United States to become scholars. The program includes a fully funded 20-month experience that includes 2 summer institutes, a year-long research project, and participation in several conferences.
The Moody Center, the new home for Longhorn basketball, will hold its grand opening on Friday, April 29th, with a performance by George Strait and special guests Willie Nelson and Randy Rogers Band. UT claims they have had such a large amount of demand that they have decided to hold a second show the next day on April 13th. Pricing for the event ranges from about $50 per seat for standard admission to nearly $3,000 for the top-tier VIP package. The stadium boasts a 10,000-seat capacity and is named in honor of a $130 million gift from the Moody Foundation. Moody replaces the Frank Irwin Center, which is set to be demolished in the near future.
The Internet's Hank Green stopped by the Texas Union's Shirley Bird Perry Ballroom this past Thursday. Hundreds of students waited in line before the event, and hundreds were disappointed when the event reached capacity. I talked to students after the event.
Do you feel like you took anything away from his speaking?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing I took away is and this is something you said at the end, was that we have a lot of agency over our own lives, and we kind of control our influence on social media and how that can kind of shape the world around us. So I think it rubbed off on me a lot.
Well, I forget sometimes that he's a businessman first. So him talking about the business side of social media and the administration side of YouTube and stuff was really interesting. And hearing him say that I would prefer to just do science sometimes all the time made me realize oh yeah, that is Hank Green. This is the person I've watched on YouTube. He's not too different in person. And he's also kind of awkward, which is exactly how I pegged him. So
non-derogatorily, it's that anyone could be famous, but I mean it isn't it. How you were saying, the way that he speaks on his TikTok and on his YouTube is just who he is. And I feel that's super cool because I probably sound like a lower pitched SpongeBob when I speak, so it's nice to know that there are, weird famous people.
The big takeaway was just fame is a double-edged sword, and not just fame. And that's the thing, is I knew fame was a double-edged sword, but it's almost any job that you find yourself in and you're questioning this is a lot of work, and you come to realize that responsibility is the beast. It's a lot to take on with anything.
Last week, we experienced technical difficulties when trying to air a story about a new organization started here on campus. Our reporter, Mariela Viela, interviewed some members of the Students for Democratic Society. Take a look.
My name's Jake, and I founded the group Austin Students for Democratic Society here at UT, and it's a chapter of the national organization. We started it basically last semester, and we're a progressive student activist group. For Students for Democratic Society, we've got a campaign to demand that UT better serve the needs of women and LGBTQ students on campus. We have a number of demands, one being to provide free menstrual products on campus in all the bathrooms. We also are demanding that they increase the number of gender-neutral restrooms on campus, because there's almost all of the buildings have them, but oftentimes they'll only have one and maybe just only on one of the floors. So we want them to expand that as well.
My name is Angela. I'm a freshman. I'm currently a psych major. I'm part of the SDS group, which is known for Students for Democratic Society. We're a progressive activism group where we talk about political topics here on UT and in Texas.
We're just gathering the petitions still, so we're still at the stage of spreading awareness and, getting signatures on the petition, spreading awareness to students. And then, once we gather some support, we'll present the demands to UT administration, probably to the Office of the President. I think our numbers are still very small is the main thing, but we definitely want to continue to organize protests. We've had a few here over the past couple of semesters on campus, and definitely it's something that as a direct action-based organization, we want to do more of.
A team of students from UT have won the 20th Annual Urban Land Institute Gerald Hines Student Competition. The team was comprised of students from the School of Architecture and the Macomb School of Business, and were awarded $50,000 for their solution to the given challenge of transforming a hypothetical 4-block site in downtown Oakland into a mixed-use, mixed-income neighborhood. UT's team was composed of Sanket Kamdar, Sophia Aitken, Kent Carlson, Margaret Gallagher, and Eli Takar.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, has permitted emergency use authorization for the first COVID-19 breath tests. These tests are designed to spot chemical compounds associated with the coronavirus in the breath. The device that operates these tests, the Inspect IR COVID-19 breathalyzer, is the size of a compact suitcase and produces results in less than 3 minutes. A study of the Inspect IR COVID-19 breathalyzer has found that it has accurately detected more than 91% of positive samples and almost 100% of negative samples. Dr. Emily Volk, president of the College of American Pathologists, states that it is, quote, another tool, and the FDA announcement suggests it's reasonably accurate and a relatively user-friendly tool, end quote. Volk also stated that the future of how this device will be adopted is yet to be seen, as it will most likely rely on how expensive the device itself is.
Currently slated for construction next year, a chemical plant may be coming to neighboring Williamson County. The company building the plant, Exfoliant, specializes in treating hydrocarbons with elements fluorine to create a variety of different chemicals used in industry. Although the company says that the construction of operations of the plant will bring economic investment to the area, residents are concerned about pollution and spills, with about 1,800 people signing a petition and 90 residents submitting complaints to the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality.
The bipartisan passing of the infrastructure bill in November will bring much-needed funds to America's deteriorating infrastructure. One area of the bill that has excited environmental advocates is funds set for electric school buses. Currently, many school districts use diesel buses which emit many types of pollutants which can harm the environment but also contribute to health issues in children. Texas has a first-come, first-served program to distribute clean buses to school districts, though currently there is more demand than there is a supply of vehicles.
The Central Texas Food Bank has served an average of 60,000 people across 21 countries each week before the pandemic, said Vindhya Gahiwa, volunteer ambassador and warehouse leader for the group. The number of people seeking help each week has since gone up about 25%. The share of Texas households experiencing food insecurity, homes with limited access to consistent meals and groceries, increased from 13% in December 2018 to 22% in June 2021, according to the Texas Research to Policy Collaboration Project. Additionally, the cost of food consumed at home has increased 10% over the past 12 months. Overall, inflation has recently risen at the fastest rate in decades. Higher prices in production, labor, and gas work their way to the shelves of grocery stores, increasing the cost of staples like eggs and peanut butter.
Coming up, Kevin Bhaskar will be bringing you up to date in the world of business. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Texas News Primetime. I'm Kevin Bosker with your business update. $43 billion. What could you possibly ever do with that amount of money? Apparently you have the potential to buy Twitter. And that's right, Elon Musk has taken the headlines once again as the billionaire entrepreneur is seeking to become one of the owners of Twitter, the owner of Twitter. Here's a snippet of what Musk has to say regarding this.
It's important to the function of democracy, having a public platform that is maximally trusted and broadly inclusive is extremely important to the future of civilization.
Interesting to say the very least of what Musk can and would do if this were to go through with the acquisition. The Twitter board, on the other hand, are not so interested or excited about what Mr. Musk is seeking. In fact, in retaliation, Twitter's board said on Friday that they are implementing a shareholders' right plan called the Poison Pill, which would make it harder for Musk to acquire the company without the board's approval. What the poison pill, for your viewers at home may think, is basically when Mr. Musk or any other investor who has that amount of money expands their stake in the company to 15%. It would give all the shareholders the right to buy an additional share for each share at a discount. In instance that this actually happened and the investor gained 15% of the company, they would continue to have to pay $420 for each share, whereas every other shareholder would pay $210. Currently, Mr. Musk has a 9% stake in the company. It is yet to be seen how the situation will go through from here on out, but we are in store from a serious corporate standoff. And while the eccentric Tesla CEO has been taking over Twitter in these recent days to buy the platform itself, a competitor made its mark by having one of its electric vehicles drive 621 miles in one charge. Mercedes-Benz AG had their EQXX prototype car driven from Sindelfingen, which is located in southern Germany near Stuttgart, all the way to Cassis, a Mediterranean coastal town in Italy. For a little more context on the route itself, the car passed through Switzerland and Italy. Quite the voyage. Ola Candelasas, CEO of Mercedes-Benz AG, exclaimed how EQXX is, quote, the most efficient Mercedes-Benz ever built, end quote. This is due to the design of the sedans itself, as the EQXX lightweight chassis and aerodynamic profile let it complete such a prolonged trip with only half the battery size of a Mercedes-Benz flagship electric vehicle, the EQS. The rise of the electric vehicle market is boosting lots of car companies to push Tesla off the mantle. Only time will tell of how Mr. Musk will respond to such a feat. Internet giant Google announced plans to invest over $9 billion in offices and data centers across the country. Google plans to open a new office in downtown Austin in 601 West 2nd, which is currently under construction. The company currently has 3 offices downtown and plans to move into new offices in 2023. Governor Greg Abbott ended additional inspections of commercial vehicles at Texas-Mexico border. Wait times at the border increased significantly when the additional inspections began. Mexico is responsible for a large portion of United States produce, and the wait time meant millions of dollars of produce would be delayed and spoiled. Business leaders in multiple sectors have voiced outrage. An American Trucker Association blamed Abbott for hurting truckers, and the Texas International Produce Association said, "We are used as bargaining chips." Abbott ended inspections after he reached agreements with the governors of the bordering Mexican states to increase inspections in Mexico. And now over to Tanya Velasquez for your weather update.
Thanks, Kevin. Let's get right into this week's weather. Our weather this week is going to give us a taste. Our weather this week is going to give us a taste of summer. Today, skies are clear to partly cloudy with a high of 79 and a low of 55. Winds are 10 to 15 miles per hour and humidity is 49%. Tuesday's heat is coming in hot with a high of 87 and a low of 68, but luckily it won't be direct heat as there will be increasing clouds to counter the sun. Wind gusts, however, will pick up speed and reach as high as 35 miles per hour. Wednesday, the skies will start out cloudy but then gradually become sunny with a high of 88 and a low of 70. Thursday is partly sunny, peaking at 90 and reaching its low at 71. Friday, the weather will remain almost the same with a high of 90 again and a low of 69. Expect the sun to keep on shining Saturday, where we will have a clear day with a high of 90 and a low of 69. But Sunday, we may experience some rain, with a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, but don't worry, because the weather will still be warm and a high of 90 and a low of 66. Well, that's it from the Weather Center. I'm Tanya Velasquez. We'll catch you right after this break. Stay tuned.
Hi, welcome back. Here now with me is Tommy Yard. Hi, welcome back to Texas News Primetime. Here with me now is Tommy Yard to talk about sports. What's going on?
Well, thanks for having me, Kevin. This weekend was the opening weekend of the NBA playoffs. Lots of exciting games, 8 games through 2 days, 4 each day. All 16 teams trying to get the ever as important first win in the playoff series to win that best of 7 in the first round of the Eastern and Western Conferences. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. We're going to start off in Dallas, where the Mavericks, without Luka Doncic, were able to fight in Game 1, but ultimately the Utah Jazz win it 99-93. Next, it's Memphis and Minnesota, battle of the two younger teams in the league, and the Grizzlies' home court advantage is taken away by the Timberwolves with a 130-117 win. Into Philadelphia, big win for the Sixers over Toronto in Game 1 with a 131-111 victory. Tyrese Maxey had 39 on the night. Warriors and Nuggets in the Bay to close out Day 1. Golden State takes it 123-107 despite Nikola Jokic's 25-point double-double. In Day 2, Miami hosting Atlanta, the Heat made it look easy. A 115-91 win, and then the thrill of them all came in the Garden. Jason Tatum's spin move game winner there wins it 115-114 for the Celtics over the Knicks. And then moving on to the mean streets, the defending champions went wire to wire with the Bulls, but Giannis's 27 was too much. Milwaukee wins it 93-86. And then the final game of the day, Phoenix fought off a resilient New Orleans team to win 110-99 behind Chris Paul's 19 points in the fourth quarter and 30 on the night.
So I hear there's something going on in Formula One. This is in the teleprompter. Okay. We'll catch you. We'll be right back with entertainment with Sophia Kurtz after this break.
Well, Kevin, I think we'll bring this back from the break. Talk about some of the which one of these series looks to be the most exciting, and I think the one that we really looked at in those first 8 games was the Celtics and the Nets. That series off to a bang. We saw Jason Tatum hit that spin move winner, but people forget that Kyrie Irving had 39 points in that game, almost a 40-piece for Kyrie, who's recently back to playing full-time for the Nets, and that has been huge for Brooklyn. They're a 7 seed coming into this series, but with Kyrie back full-time, they can really hold their own against the 2-seed Celtics, and they really showed that. Obviously, Kevin Durant, one of the better players in the NBA, he had his own share as well this past week, but the Nets and Celtics shaping out to be a good series. On the Celtics side of the ball, Defensive Player of the Year Marcus Smart just won it a couple hours ago, actually. He was great in that first game, and he added a good 20 points, I think, as well for the Celtics, and that's much needed from one of your best defensive players, especially in this circumstance. Now, when it comes to which team played the best in their first game and which team looks most poised to win a championship, that's a little bit more difficult to tell through one game. Obviously, the game's going to be going on throughout the rest of the week in this first round, but I really like what Monty Williams has done with the Phoenix Suns. This is a franchise that just a couple years ago was near the bottom of the league, at the bottom of the league, and then Monty Williams comes in 2019, and through the course of his couple of years in Phoenix, he brought them to the NBA Finals last year, and then this year, they're the number 1 seed, best record in the NBA. They've been looking great. Chris Paul looked vintage in that first game. 19 fourth quarter points, like I mentioned, 30 on the night, and then Devin Booker has been one of the better scorers throughout the entire season, and he added a good piece as well. And then defensively, they really don't show it as much, but I think that's an undervalued aspect of what the Suns bring to the table every night. Mikal Bridges was a finisher for the Defensive Player of the Year, and then DeAndre Ayton's interior presence brings so much to the table for Monty Williams, and being the best coach in the NBA that he is, I think that he has had a lot of fun working with that sort of offense and defense, and I think the Suns are the safest bet to win the NBA championship.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us, Tommy. We'll catch you
Always.
up in the world of entertainment with Sophia Kurtz right after this break.
Welcome back to Texas News Primetime. I'm Sophia Kurtz. On tonight to discuss current happenings in entertainment is Lucy Lopez. Welcome on, Lucy.
Thank you so much. It's great to be on tonight. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So last week we had a bunch of emotions going down when Rihanna was supposedly in the heat of a lot of drama with A$AP being accused of cheating on her with her own shoe designer. So luckily we were able to find out that the rumors are not true. A$AP and Rihanna are extremely happy in their relationship, and we have nothing to worry with baby A$AP and Rihanna coming on the way. I don't know if you knew much about that, but there was a Twitter user who took to social media that started the rumor. He recanted his statement, apologized on the internet, on Twitter, to Rihanna, to A$AP, and to the public for spinning this horrible, horrible rumor. But luckily, it's going to be okay, and we have nothing to fear anymore. Rihanna's happy. Rihanna's in Barbados with A$AP, and it looks like we're good to go. Going on to Coachella, I know it's something that you were so excited to get caught up on. I'm sure you saw Harry Styles brought on the one and only Shania Twain.
Shania Twain, yep.
Shania Twain. She was absolutely amazing. They debuted 2 new songs, and it's safe to say that Harry Styles is going to be in the works with some more famous TBT artists pretty soon.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed the show. Did you watch or no?
You know, there was a specific snippet of the show that I watched between Shania Twain and Harry Styles' duet where she like rubbed his chest, and I know that was kind of blowing up on Twitter and Instagram and all of those social media sites. So that's kind of the only glimpse that I saw.
Definitely.
But
Are you a big Harry Styles fan?
you know, I know his songs, I know his albums. I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm like a stan or like a big fan or anything, but I definitely enjoy his music. Yeah.
Definitely. I'm a big fan of, what's the song that she has, Shania Twain? It's like,
Oh, it's not Man, I Feel Like a Woman, is it?
oh yes, I feel like a
okay.
woman. Big song. But to keep on the Coachella vibe, we had Logan Paul talk about how he cheated on Olivia O'Brien, just horrible. But I mean, safe to
regrets
say,
it.
yeah, we knew about it from the get-go. So good to know that all of these rumors are being put to rest, and we have nothing to fear, hopefully for a while, and the drama is good to go.
Well, Lucy, thank you so much for coming on. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
And we thank you for watching tonight. You can follow us on Twitter and be sure to check us out on our Instagram profile at TSTB News. Also, this week continues our station's fundraising efforts. Funds from supporters like you go towards studio maintenance and ensure the broadcast our shows. If you want to support TSTB, visit supportstudentvoices.org. I'm Sophia Kurtz.
And I'm Lucy Lopez. Thanks for starting your week with us this evening. Now go out and change your world.